Hey guys, this is Nick here for a voice lesson from Jacob's Vocal Academy. We've apparently had a fair bit of interest in this technique, Messa Di Voce, and it's a very important singing technique for singers of all styles. It doesn't matter your genre, your style, if you're choral or solo or anything like that. This is a pretty important technique that everyone can stand to practice and develop the skill. So let's jump right into it. So Messa di Voce, Italian for placing a voice or placing of the voice, is a technique wherein a singer sustains a pitch over a period of time wherein the singer crescendos and diminuendos without otherwise changing the note being sung. That's kind of where it gets hard. We can all sing a note and get loud and get soft, but to sing it with consistent timbre, vibrato, color, pitch consistency, etc., is a bit more difficult. So generally, this is a fairly advanced technique, especially when you hear a full Messa di Voce from, say, a professional opera star. The real pinnacle of this technique is pretty advanced. But that doesn't mean it can't be approached by less advanced singers, and in fact, it should be approached by less advanced singers because the only way to master something is by doing it. So when executing a Messa di Voce, the key device that you have to manipulate is the breathing system. You're not going to be... so yeah, I've got a subnote here. The voice will be actively engaged, of course, because you're singing, but it shouldn't be changing from a manipulation of the voice itself. It should really be coming from resonance, which comes from your breath. So you shouldn't just end up yelling. You shouldn't be adding and removing tension from the throat. The voice should remain very relaxed, while perhaps the space of the mouth changes and the amount of air and how it's used changes. The crescendo and diminuendo should be deliberate, measured, and consistent. That means it shouldn't abruptly leap. This is often especially prevalent in the diminuendo because you'll find that if you do it incorrectly and if you crescendo with tension, that when you try to pull back off of that and you try to ease the air back and let the voice just relax back into it, there will be a very harsh jump off of the dynamic because your voice wasn't in a relaxed place. It was too tense to come back from it. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Now, it can be done with straight tone or with full vibrato, but the thing to remember is that if you're doing straight tone, it should be straight across the exercise. And if you're doing vibrato, it should be the same vibrato across the exercise. Of course, I know I said the timbre should be consistent, and it should be, but it's going to expand. The timbre, if you looked at it on an oscilloscope, it will expand and change a little, but I think you'll hear in the example what I mean. It should be really easy and comfortable. The easier and more comfortable it is, the better. If it isn't, adjust. If it isn't comfortable, don't just keep going at it and say, why can't I do this? You can hurt yourself here. Try adding more space or more air, try different parts of your range, and etc. Never, ever, ever, ever push your voice to the point of damage. If you find yourself regularly damaging the voice, or even just once, significantly damaging the voice, or even just in general, whether it's these exercises or otherwise, please consult a professional voice instructor or an ENT before proceeding. Consult with someone that you can see in person who knows better than you do about what's happening in your body and can take care of you. I can only do so much from behind the computer. So just a couple of quick examples, and then you can go on to the exercise that Jacob has for you to practice some of these. But for example, in straight tone, a Messa di Voce might sound like. And sorry, I let it spin just a little bit there. I'm not much of a pop singer, but the point at hand is that when I expand, I'm not yelling, and when I shrink, I'm not pinching. It is simply the air changing. So again, if I can do a better one. And I know the pitch waver just a little bit. Again, I'm not really a straight tone singer. I am an opera guy. But regardless, that is the idea behind it, where I didn't really pinch or squeeze. The pitch faltered a little, but that's because I was avoiding manipulating the mechanism. I didn't want to squeeze the throat just to force the sound to come out. I would much rather mess up and be comfortable. And then for classical singers, and really I would recommend this for pop and straight tone singers as well. I think you should master this side of the instrument to master the freedom. But for the classical side, So there's a pretty typical example of a mezzo di voce. You could hear the space shifting a little bit to make uh, the overtones really blossom in the middle. And then and again it kind of shifted coming back, but I didn't. This is a bad example, but I didn't go ah or any other nasty sound like that where you just pinch the throat to make it happen. It should really be nice and open and floaty, allowing you to, most importantly, come back from the very loud dynamic without any tension or breaking in the voice. So, with that, you can go on and practice this with the guided exercise video that Jacob has.